Hello and welcome to Left Bench Baseball, where instead of playing baseball, we sit on the sidelines and discuss. The World Series winner from each year is remembered as the team to beat, but often, they aren't the team that won the most games. In fact, the team with the best regular season record has won the World Series just 3 times in the last 10 years. In this video, we'll be ranking the baseball team with each season's best record over the past decade. I looked at 4 different categories to process these rankings: regular season record, postseason success, team offense, and pitching. I valued winning the World Series most, but it wasn't the end-all be-all. To measure offense and pitching, I used OPS plus and ERA plus, stats that accommodate for league run environment and ballpark factors, setting 100 as league average. For National League teams prior to 2022 on this list, I didn't include pitcher hitting numbers in team OPS plus, as I feel it's unfair to compare offense between teams that had the DH versus teams that didn't. Ranking teams this talented is very difficult, and I'm sure there will be some disagreement. If you don't agree with any rankings, please let me know down below in the comments section. Let's get into the video. The lowest ranking team on this list is the 2014 Angels. It may come as a surprise to many that the Angels were this good just 10 years ago, but in 2014, they won 98 games. Behind the first of 3 Mike Trout MVPs and a solid supporting cast with the likes of Albert Pujols, Howie Kendrick, Cole Calhoun, and Chris Iannetta, the Angels' offense was 11% better than league average, and paced baseball in runs scored. On the mound, Garrett Richards and Matt Shoemaker broke out as top of the rotation arms, while Joe Smith had the best season of his career out of the bullpen. Overall, however, the Angels' pitching staff was unimpressive, with a 101 ERA+, lowest on this list. The Angels saved their typical regular season disappointment for the playoffs, getting swept by the Royals in the ALDS. They are the only team on this list to not win a single playoff game, and have not returned to the playoffs since 2014, which is tied for the longest postseason drought in baseball. Next is the 2015 St. Louis Cardinals. Coming off 4 straight NLCS appearances, the Cardinals were the only team in baseball to finish the 2015 season with 100 wins, going 162. The Redbirds were unimpressive offensively, finishing the season with a 101 team OPS+. That said, their main contributors were Matt Carpenter and Jason Hayward, who both finished top 15 in MVP voting. Where the Cardinals excelled was in their pitching, which was 34% better than league average, the 3rd best mark on this list. They had 4 starters toss more than 175 innings, all with ERAs under 3.5, while Jaime Garcia was excellent rounding out the rotation. Their bullpen served as no relief, holding a 2.82 ERA. Their dominant arms were unable to maintain their success in October, giving up 20 runs in their final 3 games as they were defeated by the Cubs 3-1 in the NLDS. At 8 on our list, we have the 2023 Atlanta Braves. Behind a dominant offense, the Braves finished 104-58, extending their NL East division-winning streak to 6 years in a row. They clubbed 307 home runs, tying the 2019 Twins for most in MLB history. Atlanta's production came from an excellent starting lineup. 7 of the 9 hitters in their lineup were 15% better than league average, and 5 hit at least 30 home runs, with Matt Olson and MVP Ronald Acuna Jr. combining for 94. Their 125 OPS plus is the highest on this list by a wide margin, 6 points ahead of second place. The Braves' pitching wasn't as strong as their offense, but it still got the job done. Spencer Strider ran into some tough luck with the home run ball, but was still solid atop the rotation. Charlie Morton and Bryce Elder were quality over 160 plus innings, and Max Fried was excellent in 77 2/3 innings of work. They had the 12th best bullpen ERA, and finished the year with a serviceable 107 ERA plus as a whole. In the postseason, their powerful lineup went quiet, as they lost to the Phillies in the NLDS for the 2nd year in a row. After years of playing second fiddle to other National League teams, the Dodgers were finally top dog in 2017, finishing the season 104-58, despite a 1-16 slide late in the year. The Dodgers lineup, which was 10% better than league average, had many talented bats. Justin Turner and National League Rookie of the Year Cody Bellinger led a lineup with 5 qualified hitters 15% better than league average. Even defensive catcher Austin Barnes excelled at the plate, with a 138 OPS plus in 102 games. As a pitching staff, the Dodgers pitched to a formidable 123 team ERA+. Clayton Kershaw headlined the rotation, Alex Wood and Rich Hill were great behind him, and Yu Darvish was added at the deadline. Their bullpen, which finished 4th in ERA, was highlighted by closer Kenley Jansen, who dominated across 68.1 innings. The Dodgers shook off their late season struggles in time for the playoffs, sweeping the D-backs and getting revenge against the Cubs to set up a World Series matchup against the highly talented Houston Astros. In a back-and-forth series with multiple all-time classics, the Astros took down the Dodgers in 7 games. In recent years, there have been no disputes over this result. Ahead of the Dodgers by a razor-thin margin, we have the one-of-a-kind 2021 Giants, who came out of nowhere to win 107 games and the NL West crown. Most of their contributors were on the wrong side of 30, as the Giants had the oldest lineup in baseball. The Giants raked at the plate with a 114 team OPS+, despite having just 2 qualified hitters. The longtime Giants, Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, and Brandon Belt led the way, with some of the best seasons of their careers. They had incredible depth, as 10 of their 11 hitters who logged 275 plate appearances were above average. The Giants also boasted an elite pitching staff. Kevin Gausman and Logan Webb broke out as ace-caliber pitchers, while Anthony DeSclafani was a great number 3. With the best bullpen in baseball, the Giants' pitching staff was 28% better than league average. The Giants had a tough draw in the NLDS, facing the 106-win Dodgers. Unfortunately for the Bay Area faithful, the Dodgers won the final battle, knocking the Giants out in a tightly contested series that went the full 5 games. The team with the most regular season wins on this list is the 2022 Dodgers. The 22 Dodgers were absolutely dominant, going 111-51, good for the 3rd best record for a full season since 1961, when MLB adopted a 162-game schedule. The Dodgers had a prolific offense that led the league in runs scored. Their big 3, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Trey Turner, each had 6 F4 seasons, with a combined 144 WRC+. Will Smith and Justin Turner also provided a thump, and a 31-year-old Trace Thompson came out of nowhere to supplement the lineup. The Dodgers' 115 team OPS+ was overshadowed by their elite pitching. With a 145 ERA+, the 2022 Dodgers have the best team ERA+ in a full season since integration. The volume of quality arms on this team is just astounding. Their starters were excellent, albeit in a smaller sample size, as only 2 pitchers qualified, and 4 tossed 100+ innings. They had 15 pitchers who were above average who tossed 30+ innings, and their bullpen was 2nd best in baseball. But the Dodgers struggled once again in October, getting upset by the division rival Padres, who won just 89 games in the NLDS. In the 60-game 2020 season, the Dodgers paced baseball in wins, going 43-17. While they were absolutely loaded, the season being shortened hurts their ranking, as it's tough to extrapolate 60 games to a full 162. Their offense was excellent, with 6 hitters who were 25% better than league average. Mookie Betts and Corey Seager placed 2nd and 10th in MVP voting for an offense that had a 119 OPS+. As for the Dodger pitching, their 146 ERA+ is the best since integration. All 5 starters who made at least 8 starts had ERAs below 3.5. to go along with a bullpen that was extremely deep and had the 2nd lowest ERA in baseball. While the Dodgers had the shortest regular season, their path to the World Series was longer than any other team on this list by a full round. They swept the Brewers and Padres in the wild card in NLDS and came back from down 3-1 against the Braves in the CS. They brought their momentum to the World Series, beating the Rays in 6 behind NLCS and World Series MVP Corey Seager. The 2019 Houston Astros may be one of the most talented teams in baseball history to not win the World Series, which is why they placed top 3 on this list. Finishing the season 107-55, the Astros tied for the 3rd most wins on this list. At the plate, they raked, with a 119 team OPS+. The Astros had 5 qualified hitters 30% better than league average according to WRC+. Not even including Carlos Correa and AL Rookie of the Year Yordan Alvarez. 3rd baseman Alex Bregman brought major star power, placing 2nd in MVP voting with 8.3 F4. Their pitching was 27% better than league average, and sported the top 2 finishers in Cy Young voting, Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole. Verlander and Cole both tossed over 210 innings, struck out 300+ batters, and had ERAs under 2.6. Even with the 2019 juiced ball. They traded for Zach Greinke at the trade deadline to create a dominant 1-2-3. This was all backed by the 2nd best bullpen ERA in baseball. In the postseason, the Astros knocked the Rays out in 5 and beat the Yankees in the ALCS to set up a World Series matchup against the Washington Nationals, who had won just 93 games. Despite this 14-game gap in the standings, the Nationals came back from down 3 games to 2, winning games 6 and 7 in Houston to win the World Series. The best team in baseball in 2018 from start to finish was the Boston Red Sox. 5 years removed from their 2013 World Series championship, the Sox paced baseball with 108 wins. Their offense, which led baseball in runs scored, had a 112 team OPS+, and was driven by 2 of the top 3 hitters in baseball in AL MVP Mookie Betts and JD Martinez. A pair of homegrown stars, Xander Bogaerts and Andrew Benintendi, backed up the fearsome duo's production, while mid-season addition Steve Pearce produced in 50 games. The Red Sox rotation wasn't otherworldly, but Chris Sale was excellent, finishing 4th in Cy Young voting despite pitching just 158 innings. David Price was a solid number 2, Eduardo Rodriguez gave 130 quality innings, and Nathan Eovaldi was a valuable deadline addition. Their bullpen was decent, led by all-star closer Craig Kimbrell, and the pitching staff as a whole was 18% better than league average. The Red Sox got even better in October, losing just 3 games along the way, as they beat the Dodgers in the World Series, clinching their 4th World Series title of the 21st century. Their in-season moves proved to be crucial, as Steve Pearce took home World Series MVP, while Nathan Eovaldi ate 6 innings in an 18-inning Game 3. The Red Sox postseason dominance in 2018 is unmatched by any other team on this list. When putting this list together, I had major difficulty deciding which team deserved the number 1 spot. While the 2018 Red Sox postseason was more dominant, I elected to put the 2016 Cubs number 1 for their full season production. After bursting onto the scene in 2015, the Cubs continued their climb to the top the following year, going 103 and 58. Offensively, they were led by their star corner infield duo of Anthony Rizzo and NL MVP Chris Bryant, who combined for 12.4 F4 and a 147 WRC+. Ben Zobrist and Dexter Fowler served as key supplemental pieces for a lineup that had a 110 OPS+. The Cubs' pitching was incredible, behind a dominant starting rotation. Every member of their starting 5 tossed over 165 innings with ERAs under 4. 3 starters finished top 10 in Cy Young voting, with John Lester and Kyle Hendricks placing in the top 3. This was paired with a respectable bullpen, which got even stronger at the deadline with the acquisition of Aroldis Chapman. The Cubs rolled through the NL playoffs, beating the Giants and Dodgers to win their first pennant in 71 years. In the World Series, they famously came back from down 3 games to 1 against the then Cleveland Indians to snap a 108-year World Series drought, winning one of the greatest Game 7s in MLB history, in large part thanks to a go-ahead double from World Series MVP Ben Zobrist. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more baseball content and rankings, please make sure to subscribe, as more videos just like this are on the way. If you haven't seen my AL or NL MVP ranking videos, they'll be linked to this one. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.